Like I was doing shit that I normally wouldn't do. Like I was going out to clubs over there in Charlotte, like on my own, like talking to women and like.
Oh shit!
Like I lost my virginity out there.
Fuck yeah!
Charlotte girls are wild. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of want to move up there.
Says the guy in a relationship.
Well, I mean, they're cool.
That's pretty cool.
Cool. And like the cool thing about Charlotte, and the reason I say I kind of want to move up there is that there's a huge music scene out there.
Yeah.
Like, there's a fucking music pavilion with like 2 other like venues, and then bars behind it. Like that, I feel like that's cool to like, you know, me and the lady would go out and like have fun at those bars.
I love it, man. Like, you know, I think, you know, especially, you know, anybody that's been around, Emily, you've been around for a while, this transformation, you know, you're like a full butterfly now, you know.
Seriously. Emerged from the cocoon.
Yeah.
Shouts out Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, and all right. Welcome to Manly Girly. Oh, where's my camera? There. Welcome to Manly Girly, the fastest comedic dating talk podcast in North Carolina, fastest growing. I have a great panel for you today, some great guests, some old faces, some new faces. So we'll go ahead and get started. We'll start over to my left, and please tell us your name, age, dating status, and the last best date that you can remember.
My age. I'm June Darling. I'm 40. I know. It's terrible. I'm single. My last best date. I don't know. They've all been pretty mediocre. Yeah.
The last, how about the last nicest thing that a guy did for you on a date? How about that? Maybe that's easier to narrow
just
down.
Want me to spill all the beans?
The tea is hot today.
You can also lie if you want. Nobody will know.
No one will know except for me. God, the nicest thing. I really should have thought about this.
You got to go in your soul and just find resonates with you.
All right. Last time you went on a traditional date. Let's say, how about that?
I don't do those. I mean, last weekend I went, or not last weekend. Oh my God, 2 weeks ago, we went for dinner, and then he came to my show at Dirty Bowl.
Oh,
and it was
shit!
horrible.
Like you did well, or did you bomb?
There was no way to bomb because there was only 3 people in the audience, and the rest.
Did
of
you go early?
We're comics.
Early in the lineup?
No, I was like pretty much dead center.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Usually Dirty Bull kind of gets a crowd, which
no, it wasn't for the mic. It was for an actual show that Sheila was putting on, and
I think I went to that show for a little while, but then I took off. Yeah, it was quiet.
Yeah,
because she kind of ran it like a show, but then it was also like a mic. You could, if you showed up, you could perform. You know, like some comic showed up, and
yeah, it was bizarre, but we had fun. It was.
That's all that matters, though, is that y'all had fun.
Yeah, it was.
Shouts out.
Right, he had some good banter, and you know, he was funnier than the comics. So.
Okay,
yeah.
shots fired.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Could you angle your mic down a little bit?
Yeah, I got you.
Perfect.
Like
Not talking to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
We good?
Yeah, and you may want to raise it. You see the little turny thing on the thing? That way it's like level with your mouth, because otherwise we can't hear you all that well.
I'm gonna be real. I didn't know this could do that.
Perfect. Yeah, usually, you know, but you're tall. Usually at the lowest level is enough. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming to the show, June. Yeah, first time, Manly Girly. Very excited to have you on. And, you know, we have up next this man who requires no introduction. You know, as you might have known him, he's the host of the formerly podcast known as A Side of Fries. Now I think it's like a potential Bullpack podcast. Mm-hmm. Your favorite, the always amazing Alex Shamil.
Hello, it's me. I'm back.
Hey, Alex.
I'm glad to be back. I appreciate you having me on.
No, welcome back. Why don't we start with your name is Alex, age, relationship status, and the last time that you went on a date.
Okay, so
Not the strip club, but where does it go as a date?
I'm 26. I'm currently in a relationship, and what was the last question? When was the last time I've been on a date?
Yeah.
I went to last weekend.
Yeah.
Last weekend on Friday, we went to Repticon. It's like a reptile convention.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
My
That's
girl's
cool.
into reptiles, which is pretty sick. She's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna be honest with you. My first initial thought when we were going was that she was gonna try and get my fear of arachnophobia away.
Yeah.
Because they had spiders there.
Oh yeah.
She
Immersion
was like,
therapy.
there's spiders, and I was like, oh, that's about to be not fun.
Yeah.
But no, they were just baby spiders, like the baby jumping spiders.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I got to do stuff that I normally wouldn't do, and that was pretty fun.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, welcome back to the show, man. That's amazing, and we'll dive right in, which I think many viewers on will have in their mind. Last time you were here, you were not in a relationship.
Nope.
No shit, that's amazing.
I was dude. When I was on here, before then, I was a fucking wreck. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah.
I was an absolute disaster of a person.
A lot of people, I'm sure Wafiq wishes he were here right now because I'm sure he'd be very happy. I know that in previous clips he's been like, "Yo, man, so tell me about this. What changed? How did you meet her?" I'm sure people want to know.
Yeah. So actually, I've known her for about
a little closer to them.
Yeah, my bad. I've known her from work.
Yeah.
Working at AT&T.
Yeah.
And we've been really cool. It just took a bit of time.
Yeah.
I think that's what my old problem was that I was too in the gun for it. That's what I was seeking.
Yeah.
And in this case, I didn't really have to do much seeking.
Yeah.
She made it very clear that she wanted to date me.
Yeah. So you think that pulling back a little bit, actually helped?
Yeah, I think not worrying about being in a relationship helps a lot in cases like these. Or I guess not constantly thinking about seeking a woman or a partner.
Yeah.
So I just feel like that helps because it clears your mind and it leaves a lot of stress off of you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not so weighted. And then that way you can focus on other things.
That's awesome, man. So how long you been dating?
I think about a month now.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
We're official a month, but we've been
yeah, you've known her for a while. Yeah,
I think we both really relate because we kind of both were in the similar situations before dating. We were fucking led on and this and that and all that fucking stupid bullshit that happens with situationships nowadays.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that I think we never had in my relationship currently is a situationship. We just went full throttle.
Yeah, you intentionally dated, and I was recently talking. Thank you for sharing. I was recently talking with a friend, and she's dating this. She started dating this guy.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I asked you to be on the podcast, so I'm not gonna say your name. And I asked her, I'm like, well, do you want a relationship with this guy, right? She's like, yeah, ideally, I would like to be in a relationship with him. It's a little bit long distance. He's a couple hours away, and they've been, I think it's on 4 dates or something. And I'm like, well, did you have sex with him?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yes, I did. I'm like, okay, no, I'm not here to judge at all, ever. I am here sometimes to point patterns, right, and strategies and behaviors. And I'm like, well, technically you're part of hookup culture then, because what incentive is there for this fucking guy? I'm like, you're still on the apps, right? She's still on the apps. And I asked her, I'm like, do you think he's fucking anybody else? She's like, I don't really know. So if you add in wanting to be in a relationship and seeing this guy as a potential partner, not already fucking him, which full degree to anybody that's gonna fuck it, right? But from the dynamics between men and women, I'm like, does this increase your likelihood or decrease it? And let's take a quick pause there. Think about it. I'm gonna let her in.
Pose.
All right, and we have a new addition, and we'll jump back into this question after I introduce her. You know her, you love her. She needs no introduction. Please give us your name, age, relationship status, and the last time you went on a date. Yeah, welcome.
Oh, hello. My name's Emily. My relationship status is single. I'm 30. And the last time, I don't know, it was like a week ago. I haven't been trying to go on dates recently.
Yeah,
It's more effort than it's worth at this point.
I hear you. Well, welcome back to the show. And last time you were in the show, did you say you were single as well?
Yeah.
Or like, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I was like, I don't know if the last date I went on counted as a date. I
Yeah,
went out
yeah,
with
yeah.
someone for lunch, and I was like, I don't know if that's a real date.
Yeah. Did
Would you? I don't know. I'd kind of count lunch as like if it's
speak
like
close to the mic, please.
If it's made known that that it's a date at lunch, I think that counts. Don't you think so?
Yeah, but it wasn't made known.
Then
It
there
was
you
this
go.
guy that I'd gone on dates with before,
Mm.
and then I like just happened to be in the same area he was, and I was like, "Oh, you want to grab lunch?"
Oh, so you asked him on a date?
I feel like I'm always asking. Maybe that's the problem, because I'm just like too forward. I'm just like, what is it? That's probably my problem. I'm like, oh, we've been on 3 dates. You're gonna meet my family now, so we can decide if this is serious or not.
You know,
I'm definitely the problem.
you know, you might say that's a problem, but I actually, I'm pretty close with my family myself, and I probably, and tell me if this holds true to you, but like, they're gonna meet my family pretty early on, mostly because if we're doing something, I have no qualms about bringing. My family knows me; they know what I'm like, what I'm about. So if I'm dating somebody and there's something fun, yeah, I'll bring them all. So it kind of like maybe disqualifies them early on enough, you know?
If you
like,
don't vibe with the family, like it's not gonna work.
yeah. Well, let's maybe put it out to the panel. June, ideally, how many dates do you have to go on before you meet a person's family?
Christ. I don't know. What constitutes family? Like their kids or
Their mom.
Their mom.
Or their dad, I guess, in the situation.
God, I don't remember the last parent I met. What does that say about me? Seriously, I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I mean, I've dated a lot of people with dead parents or no parents or.
I would think in the case the kids would be like your thing instead of like how us we're like, I'm 26.
Yeah,
30.
I am baby.
We see their parents versus you. You probably run into their kids. I think. How would you feel? Or what was the question, Arturo?
How many dates?
Yeah. Thank you
dates until you meet the family.
Thank you for paying attention. But yeah, I guess maybe kid. Do you date men? Men or women with kids? I don't know.
Am I aware of men and women that exist in the world with children? Yeah. I have this weird hang up about dating people with kids, which is dumb because I have kids. I know.
Yeah.
But
Like you won't do it?
I'm very hesitant because I know what baby mamas are like.
Because of what you're like?
No, because of what my children's stepmother is like. She's a monster.
Okay.
And I
Shout out,
tell her to her fucking face.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It kind of depends on their age. Like if they're, so young that they're not going to know who I am, like I don't care. But if, they're a little bit older, I don't want to get attached to your kids either. Right. Like I want to know that I like you before I get attached to your kids because I love children.
Oh, that's
so
fair.
for me, it's more probably the opposite of what you would think is like, I don't want to love your kid. And then we break up and I'm like, well, I can never see that kid that I love again. So
Oh yeah, that'd be rough.
yeah.
Or like sometimes like I don't think this with my current relationship, but I think in previous times like I would think about like future stuff. Like, oh, what if I do break up with this girl and I was really cool with their little brother or some shit like that? Like that shit's rough.
Look at this man talking like a fucking seasoned pimp now. How time has changed. Time has changed you.
Listen,
and for the better.
I'm being real with you. Like in the time period of when because did I ever tell you I went on that trip to Charlotte to do work?
No, you didn't.
I went to go to Charlotte in April, at the end of April, to go do work for the company that I used to work for.
Yeah.
And I was in Charlotte for a whole month. Within that whole month, my life fucking spiraled. Like I had lost a friend. Like I had a very close friend of mine like get arrested for like murder or some shit like that.
Holy
like,
fuck!
I'm not even joking. Like that
Girl or
shit's
guy?
Guy. Like
Okay.
his
Did
old
he do
childhood
it?
friends.
Or can you say?
No, I could say he definitely did that shit. Like it's like, well, I say that jokingly because
Did he murder a guy or a woman?
It was a woman.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was fucking nuts. But like we had like
Not so funny for Emily anymore. Yeah.
But like, yeah, like I had a bunch of shit happen to me within that month that like really fucked me up, and I had my crash out moment, and like I just went on a fucking spiral. Like I was doing shit that I normally wouldn't do. Like I was going out to clubs over there in Charlotte, like on my own, like talking to women and like.
Oh
Like,
shit!
I lost my virginity out there.
Fuck yeah!
Charlotte girls are wild. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of want to move up there.
Says the guy in a relationship.
Well, I mean, they're cool.
That's pretty cool. That's
Dude,
pretty
and,
cool.
And like the cool thing about Charlotte, and the reason I say I kind of want to move up there is that there's a huge music scene out there.
Yeah.
Like, there's a fucking music pavilion with like 2 other like venues, and then bars behind it. Like that, I feel like that's cool to like, you know, me and the lady would go out and like have fun at those bars.
I love it, man. Like, you know, I think, you know, especially, you know, anybody that's been around, Emily, you've been around for a while, this transformation, you know, you're like a full butterfly now, you know?
Seriously. Emerge from the cocoon.
Yeah.
Shouts out Kendrick Lamar, bro.
Yeah, and because I remember when we first met, right? I remember this must have been like 2 and change, maybe 3 years ago. At the time, you and we talked about this. I thought or assumed that you were asexual, right? Which is not the case now. You're a very sexual being.
Absolutely.
And then this evolution, right, from like losing like $1,500 at the strip club, which I feel like was the, you know,
was like the arm turd, like
it
for
was
me to like.
Yeah,
clutch up.
it's like a champagne bottle. You know, you gotta undo the twisty thing before you actually pop the thing. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like I remember that the change gave you a lot of confidence. Like, okay, this is achievable. This is manageable, right? Like, let me stop with this negative self-talk and really value myself because you are a very nice, wonderful guy, you know? And now you're with your lady, lost your V card. Is your V card your lady?
No.
Oh, so now
It
this
was a
guy is
crash out,
fucking.
yeah. It was a
This
crash
guy
out.
is fucking
I'm not
left
even
and
joking.
right.
Yeah, my friends literally after telling them like what happened in Charlotte, they were all like, "What the fuck happened to you? What happened to the old Alex?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what happened, dude. Like it was really just a blur.
I just imagine like a hangover style weekend in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And like what's crazy is that my job was paying for my trip to Charlotte. Like they paid the hotel, like they give me per diem. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that shit was crazy. I was like, what the fuck? I'm giving an allowance to just turn up. While I'm fucking, like, it was lit.
That's amazing, man. So, and I want to follow up with it, and we'll move on and we'll react to something. By the way, June, like this, if is earth-shattering news for this podcast. You know, like, I'm super happy for you. You know, you got a Don DeMarco there.
I feel like we need to throw a party or something.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it works out with your lady.
Thanks,
you know, now you had a lot of friend zone relationships in the past, correct? Like friends, you know, like now that you are like through the looking glass on this other side, do you maintain them? Do you feel like that now that your focus is on a lady, they've gone by the wayside? Like, what are the dynamics of that now?
So like, this is gonna sound gay, but I'm a girls guy, so like I really have a lot of friends that are women, and they're just like easier to talk to and easier to like, kind of, really like flesh out my feelings versus my dude friends, who you know will just tell me to man up and like do shit, like just fuck it, like full send, kind of deal, and it's like. Well, I like my homegirls because they the only ones that really kind of like get what I feel whenever I'm like upset or some shit like that. So like it's always cool to have them around. But a lot of them, yeah, they turned into friend zones and they're still my friends.
Yeah.
I don't really, cause now that I've like evolved into like just being grown.
Yeah.
I don't look at any of these like any of the girls that really hurt my feelings in a negative way. I never really did. I just really hate what they did to me.
Yeah.
But like, you kind of just gotta let it go. And if
Yeah.
they still aren't letting go, then that's fine. But
Yeah.
you know, I just like having my friends. Like
Hell yeah.
like iPad girl, you remember?
iPad girl.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, like, So
If you don't know the story, tell June.
so in like just quickly,
Yeah.
me, friend, really cool with each other, starting to spark a relationship. She got me an iPad for Christmas. That kind of gave me the idea. I was like, oh, she really cares about me, because who the fuck's gonna buy an iPad for somebody, like off the rip? And then we had a thing. It kind of sounded like she was leading me on, and then she ended up seeing some other dude while we were talking. So it was just some heartbreaking shit. But yeah, we're still friends.
Yeah.
We're
yeah.
great friends.
But you're not friends with Tennessee girl, right?
No. And honestly, I
Yeah,
think
fuck her.
I
Yeah,
think
fuck her.
I still think that one was on me, just a little bit. But I mean, it's not to a point where I think negatively of myself.
Yeah.
I was too impatient, and I still didn't have the idea of like, oh, your friends can't be your girlfriends.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah, no, and yeah, maybe nobody's 100%,
Yeah.
responsible for any situation. Maybe you put yourself in a situation, and maybe she didn't take many mind to your feelings
I mean, what she
at the
did,
moment.
like to end it all off, was tell me like, hey, we can't be friends anymore. The way she did it was kind of like, oh wow, we could have just talked this out.
Yeah.
But I mean, she has her reasons, I have mine, and I mean, I feel like I've grown.
Listen to this fucking guy. You
So
know, like
nice.
what a pimp. Now, thank you,
Mhm.
ladies. I'll put it to you, and I'll start with you, Emily. What do you think about this notion that you can be friends with the women that you're trying to like crack open? You know, like,
Oh my god, why you gotta say it like
Crack
that?
open.
I don't know. I feel like before anything's happened, it's like you could probably be friends afterwards. But like once you actually do it, then it's like I don't want to be. If I've seen you naked, we're not friends.
fair. Yeah. And June, how about you?
I was actually just having this conversation yesterday. I think that women are way better at being friends with men than men are at being friends with women. But also, I don't know. I just kind of move through the world thinking that all men want to fuck me, because that's
Obviously.
well, no, but because it's true. Like, if given the opportunity, they probably would take it, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't hurt my feelings. Like, that doesn't mean I would, lean into that. But if we're both on the same page, like, I can be friends with people. I don't know. Friends with benefits, I think that's, it gets real murky once you start doing it. But I don't know. I'm a grown up. Like, I can give it a little time and you can be friends again. But
Do you think that men use the approach of becoming friends to try to bang you out?
I mean, I think it just depends on the dude. But I honestly think all men, and I mean, maybe that's not fair, but move through the world thinking like, if given the opportunity, would I sleep with this girl? Like, that's something that goes through every dude's mind when he's befriending. But seriously, like, being a female comic, it's pretty fucking obvious that, all of the dudes around us are constantly thinking like, oh, she just is here, because she's a chuckle fucker or whatever. And
And you know what? They're not even that funny.
yeah. Maybe if you weren't for funny, I would want to fuck you. Yeah. No, I just think that almost all men look at women and think, and that's like one of the questions they ask themselves is like, oh, would I sleep with that person?
I think that's fair. Yeah, that's a fair assumption. I think, like, me personally, like, my personal experience, I don't ever really think like that, because, like, negatively thinking that I couldn't be with like a girl at all, or I couldn't sleep with anybody, like, kind of like made me think, oh, I'm never gonna have that. So I even think that. But yeah,
But it's a
That's
question
a
you
common
ask
thought,
yourself,
yeah.
right? Like, there doesn't have to be some intent behind it. It's just, would I sleep with her if given the opportunity? Like, probably.
I'll put it to you, Alex. From your experience, or maybe like friends do you think that men are friends with a lot of women that they wouldn't fuck?
I think, like, if we were to put it in like percentages, I think like 20% do that. 20% of all men would do that.
Ladies, reaction, Emily. What do you think about?
Wait, so men would rather be friends with women that they don't want to fuck?
No, only 20%
of
would do
men would do that. Would be friends with
Oh.
women they won't fuck.
That's disappointing.
I mean, it's like it's just real. Like if I talk to somebody and be like, "Yo, would you be friends with that girl?" and like to them they're probably like mid or even lower, they're gonna say no. They're just gonna say like, and not to be vulgar about it, but like they're gonna say, "Oh, that's like an easy pick," and we'll go and do our business, and that's it. Like that's just how dudes are. And
Who is this
it
fucking
just
guy
fucking
sitting in
sucks.
front of
It's
me?
like
he,
that.
he went to Charlotte.
Because like
Are we just gonna keep calling it that, or is
No,
it really something else?
Hey, fucking spitting bars. This is such a it's so base.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Is
like
Wafik under there?
Wafik's like gonna be watching this and just start clapping. You know, like
Yeah.
dude, I was hoping he was here today because I really wanted to tell him that the advice he gave me low key doesn't work.
oh
Which
yeah,
advice was that all women are
Shocking.
bitches?
The one about like thinking that you have to like fuck them, like have that mentality that you are gonna fuck them. Like,
put out the
Yeah.
vibe. You know,
yeah, that doesn't work for dating. That just works for fucking.
nice. This guy
Oh my god.
here, feel free, bro.
Wisdom.
Like, yeah.
get me
Straight
Let's
from
keep
the
this
back.
fucking guy
Let's
talking. How about June? What do you think about that assessment? That do you agree, disagree, or what's your
Yeah, no,
reaction to?
that's 100% how I move through life. Like I have a lot of male friends, and the assumption is just that at some point in the relationship they've thought about having sex with me.
What do you think that is? If you had to pinpoint it, what do you think?
That's just how the male brain works. That's how the species was designed, right? It was to procreate. It's, base level brain chemistry.
Shouts out J-Man.
I mean, I don't think it's like, again, intent is very different than, just a stupid thought that runs through your mind. I think about lots of terrible things, but that doesn't mean I would do them, right?
Well, that's fair, and to some degree, I mean, not to some degree, I agree with you, Alex, that this is probably the reality, right?
Mhm.
Like, I don't particularly like that particular approach, Like, I think at least maybe for the initial thing, right? Like, I
Mhm.
think most men, like, in a random scenario where they're like, oh, you're just approaching somebody to be friends without any other, anything in the middle. Like, I can imagine if you were, a show, like if you ran a mic
Mhm.
or ran a show, right, that you would have a lot of people on the mic and maybe develop friendships through that. But if you were to just approach as a guy, like a lady,
Mhm.
and develop a friendship, then that may be because that's all that they could get at that moment,
Mhm.
and not, further, whether it's hookup, relationship, situationship, whatever it may be.
Here's what I think is the biggest problem when it comes to guys approaching women in like say bar settings or club settings is that they don't know how to read a fucking room on a person.
So true.
So like you can definitely tell when somebody doesn't want to talk to you is just one like the immediate first eye contact you make with one person.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like a jerk like to the other way or like they don't like look the other way, bro, no chance. But sometimes other like, and this is the thing about what is it called when there's like a problem in a system, like an insurgent or
problem.
like I don't know the term for it, but like the random person that could want that. It's also like I get where people get confused in that, or they get misleaded into one thing and it's not that.
Yeah.
And some people will bite the bullet and just be like, "Oh, that's my bad. Like here, I'll hop off," or
Yeah.
they'll just ride the wave because they don't know what to do.
Okay. Well, let me have you react to a little video that is kind of like topical on this, and we'll see what y'all think. But my boy Alex, you're like a brand new man that I'm seeing in front of me, right, Emily? I don't know what
So,
you
yeah,
think, but like
I agree.
it's like night and fucking day.
He's a man now.
yeah. You're through the looking glass, like I thought you were gonna say like bitches ain't shit now that you're here, like let me get this ready real quick. Okay. Wow. It's just wow, Alex.
I literally had like a crazy character development. It's kind of nuts.
You
Not to sound geeky, but it really had my anime moment. Like,
let's see if we can hear this.
Escape the friend zone. She likes you, but she can have
Oh, but that song choice though. Let's go.
That girl's not friends
You
with
are
anybody.
still playing the field, and that's the big problem. You've got to move on from her, go on a few dates with other girls, upload pictures with them, forget about her. But be polite, she texts with no questions at the end. Barely any text to her, stop liking her pics. Bang, you're the mystery man, the main bloke. Then after about 4 or 5 weeks of being the mystery man, out of the blue, shoot over. Wanna grab some scrap? If she says yes, you're in. If she says no, you never lost anything. No more simping, only W's from now on. Use your brain for the weekend. So.
Only W's for the weekend. That's hilarious. I used to live by that code too.
Yeah.
I really did. No, so
What do you think about that clip? We'll start with Alex. Actually, we'll start with June here, and then we'll go around since Emily, you've seen that clip before.
I don't know. I mean,
Is that a good strategy? Because in a way, Alex kind of... The reason I want to show you that clip is because in a way, you kind of alluded to the same thing in the sense that, like, you know, don't press it, take your time, you know, like, you know, just, you know, like, kind of like, don't focus on much. I think this example might be a little extreme, but he's like, stop replying to a text, don't be so eager, you know, all of a sudden you're the mystery man, now they're coming to you, which seems a little bit to what happened here. But June, thoughts on...
I think the friend zone is bullshit. I don't think it exists.
What do you mean?
I think it's a thing that men made up to make themselves feel better.
Yeah?
Yeah, because they weren't. Only you were confused about whether or not you were in a relationship with that person.
yeah.
It's
It's not on her. There was
That's
no
true.
point where she was like, I don't know what we are. Like,
It's and thank you for that insight, because we've had people on this podcast.
And the same thing for women with situationships.
exactly. It's all bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So a situationship is just a friend zoning as a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's sex or whatever.
Well, that's a great insight, because I've heard this said on another podcast, right? That women control the sex, but men control the relationship, right? So in a
100%.
sense, the fact that you are saying friend zone, okay, you're not getting the sex, assuming that that's what the guy wants. In the situationship, you're not getting the relationship, which is, you know, what you want. And this actually relates back to the earlier thing. I don't know if you were here, Emily, but I have a friend, right, that's dating this guy or started dating this guy. She likes him. I ask her, you know, she wants it to develop into a relationship. And I'm like, okay, how many dates have you all been on? Like 4 or whatever. And I'm like, did you have sex with him yet? She's like, yeah. And in my mind, I'm like, well, so he's still seeing other women? She's like, I don't know. And I know she's shoe swiping on guys. So I'm like, no judgment, but you are part of the hookup culture. And she's like, and you know, and sometimes, anytime that sometimes sounds like a criticism, I'm not criticizing, I'm pointing things out. And not to hurt, but to help, because what is the incentive for this guy now to anyway get close to a relationship? If, like, what's the value? And they're like 2 hours away. So, like, I don't know, what's the value add there? And no, so I thank you for that insight. Yeah, I think too many guys like go in and try to go in the friend route, you know, trying to like weasel yourself in. No, it doesn't work unless, I guess, you pull away. Is that right, my boy?
Here's the thing that I have on the friend zone. The friend zone, it's a hard truth, but she's right. Like, it's a coping mechanism because, like, we don't want to think we did anything wrong or anything like that. We don't want to take accountability because we're too prideful for that shit. And so, like, it's a hard truth for me because even before Tennessee Girl, like, I'd always feel like it wasn't my fault for these, like, things not happening or, like, relationships not going how I wanted. I would used to think that, and is a trash, really, really trash mindset.
Yeah. What were you doing wrong, do you think?
I would blame myself a lot. I'd be like, yo, they just don't like big guys, or like, you know, like, oh, I'm not cool enough to be
Which
with this
is
person.
bullshit. Now
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
no, I'm just,
Yeah.
bro. They call me the sniper out here. Man.
Oh shit.
I'm cold cut, number 13 at Jersey Mike's. Bro.
You know, well, we may be missing, but you know, there you go. Emily didn't expect to hear anything of this from you.
I'm loving it. I'm loving
The
the
sniper.
transformation. Honestly, this is way better than Sad Alex.
Oh man, it was
Hell
crazy.
yeah.
And like, And to relate to the video, what he's talking about, that mysterious man, the whole like, oh, just ghosted out and then hit her up later. I would see those constantly, and they would only play for people that are like watching the same like sadcore shit or the same like depressing stuff. And I'm guilty for posting a lot of that shit too, because I was in that bag. Like I was in like, I called it my emo bag because I like grew up.
Yeah,
it was fucking crazy. There was a comic. I went to the vault because I'd go in and out of comedy. And one of the comics came up to me. He's like, "Yo, Alex, what's up, man? Good to see you haven't killed yourself yet." And it was like, and I was like, "Oh yeah, shit, yeah." I used to post like a lot of crazy shit, so it threw me off. I was like, "Oh yeah, my."
I like that he said "yet" at the end. You know,
You were like,
Yeah.
yeah, like
that was me.
because I really like it was like fucking 5 or 6 stories of like depressing shit,
yeah,
and then like
you're going through it.
I smoked a lot too, so like I would post it normally like sober. And then my high version, which I think personally is like the happy version, was like, no, delete that shit. That shit's cringe. Yeah.
No shit, but yeah, I mean, you know, I was a nice guy for a long time. Nice guy, thinking that he's a nice guy, but in reality, you're just making these agreements that nobody really agreed to, and then just like martyrdom and all this other bullshit, you know. So I have. And this is probably my 20s. Like I argue that I became a man only in like, you know, my early to mid 30s in reality, late bloomer or whatever. But late serious person. I've only recently been able to manage a long-term relationship. You know, like we all get there, you know, at different things. But yeah, I found it that if you're in the friend zone and you don't want to be in a friend zone anymore, don't be your friend. Just don't be your friend. Really decide what you want. Do you actually want a friend or do you not want a friend? If you want a friend, then there is no friend zone really, right? Because you are friends. Now, if you're really just attracted and waiting for it to happen, could it happen? Yeah, there's a big chance that you can fuck her. But are you ever going to get in a relationship with her? Probably not. You know, like, and then what is it really that you wanted? So, you know, just cut your losses if that's not a real friendship. And I think that'd be beneficial for women and men. You know, like I don't know what you'll think. Let's start with Emily.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, just stop. If you're gonna be annoying, just don't.
Yeah, you know that means less you making her upset. You know, less free dinners on her end, but you know she can find another guy to take her out on dinners. You know, like
free dinners. Oh man.
How many free dinners have you given?
Dude, quite a lot. I'll be honest with you. Quite a bit. Dude, I was a regular at Applebee's, bro. Like 2 for $20.
Wild and out.
Dude, the 2 for $20 deal is awesome.
It is, right? Like, people give chains some bullshit, but chains have good deals. Ladies, what would you do, Emily, if a guy takes you to Applebee's?
I'd be like, I wouldn't go in the Applebee's.
Dang.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like for a bit, if it was like,
for a bit, that's humiliating.
If it was like, ironically, we're going to Applebee's, I'd be like, okay, that's cool. But if he was like, oh, I want to take you out, we're going to Applebee's, I'd be like, no, we're not.
What's wrong with Applebee's?
It's not good. It's not good food. It's not good vibes.
Yeah, do you eat fast food ever?
Yeah, I do, but not on a date.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I'd be like, I can give you like 5 other suggestions that are at the same price point. Like, let's go to Nuvo Taco. Like, I'm
you
not going
fucking
to
love Nuvo Taco.
Dude, Nuvo Taco sponsor me, please.
Nice.
Right. It's less about the price point and more about the experience.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah,
don't
take
let
me
any
to a
of this
taco
I was about
women.
to say, I guess you can't have a good experience at Applebee's.
Don't listen to any of these people, man.
Late
Like,
night
listen.
appetizers.
With those $3 margaritas or whatever.
$1.
$1, yeah.
$1. We got lit.
You know, Applebee's gets a bad rep, but most Americans love Applebee's, right? Like, it's yeah, it's not sushi, it's not whatever. But my first job as a server was at an Applebee's, and the 2 for $1 at Applebee's. That's legit, you know.
It's crazy. It's it's affordable. Honestly, and like your method, you know, you try to be efficient too. So like you do the first step, second step, third step. You're spending what, $40? Is that what you said in your example?
Maybe. I was trying to fit within with Feek's budget at the time. What he thought, what he
Feek's
thought,
budget.
you know, what he thought a thing is. But
Well,
yeah,
Feek's budget, what he could find in the couch cushions.
you know. But now he's monetized, so maybe that budget has gone up. You know, like so.
By an extra $1 or $2.
Yeah, but in case you didn't see that clip, June, I basically I have cracked the first dates. Later, I've been told that apparently this doesn't work in the black community by Jane. But you know, like I think it can still work if played right. All my first dates are the same. They're a 3-part date. Doesn't mean that everybody gets to the third part. Hour. First part is gonna be something free.
3-hour-long date.
Yeah, absolutely. You told us
Whoa,
last.
whoa.
You told us last night you were until 4 a.m. What are you talking about?
Yeah, 3-hour dates. That's like a solid amount of time.
First date, really?
Absolutely. Like, how long are your, like, your dates, your first dates?
I mean, it depends on the person, but I usually like budget for an hour just to see if I like them. I know real fast if I like someone or not. So
That's efficient.
Okay,
in the first 5 minutes, I can be like, yeah, this is not going anywhere.
surprisingly enough, this is congruent with this. Is it not?
Yeah.
100%. And what have I told you, Emily? I have a crack mentality, and this is why.
Because you date like a lesbian.
It is, you know. And I'll tell you, you're 100% right. But when you're getting asked on a date, and this is why, like, it's a 3-part date, hour. Most women are not gonna make it to the third hour. But I'll give you the first part. First hour, you first invite them on something potentially free, like walk around the Raleigh Art Museum, walk around the park, downtown, you know, like fair, whatever it is, farmers market.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know the person, right? I completely hear you. If you're not into with them, you know, you hang out with them for an hour. If you're not into it, okay, bye, great in meeting you. You haven't spent a single dollar yet, you know, and you've done something active. You're out on the thing. Not an unusual date. Sit with fucking through dinner through somebody that you don't fucking know, that you might have a terrible time with, that you might want them to pay for your time, you know, or something like that. And if you're like them, second hour, you're like, oh, hey, by the way, I know this place has some like great slushies. This place just opened up, has great margaritas. You know, then you move on to the second part of the date. But you already had an out. If you don't like them, you're done with the first hour, which is congruent with what you're saying. Second hour, maybe a drink. You talk for another hour or so, right? Like most women, I would argue that are dateable, probably not gonna get hammered in that second hour and just start banging out shots or drinks, right? Like, so you might drink 1 or 2 drinks. If you're still feeling after the second hour, then you're like, oh, by the way, you're hungry. No sit down place, finger foods, nothing fancy. Oh, there's this great food truck. Oh, there's this tacos at this brewery. Third hour after that, you finish it up. If you notice that she's into it, you go for the kiss. Be vulnerable. You know, like, don't force it, obviously, because you don't kiss your friends. You know, or maybe you do. I don't know, but I don't.
Only on the mouth.
Yeah. And then it's over. But to your point, right? Like, it's unusual. People form relationships through shared experiences. That's not how people get close. All of a sudden, you had 3 dates in one that seem like it's a very spontaneous one, and to a certain degree, it is. But you don't know the fucking person at first, so you just kind of like do it that way. So yeah, that's an easy way also not to get friend zoned. You know, like, just discard them out.
I think too is just that, like, I think guys have a real big problem with being forward and asking, or even like just making it known. Yeah, we already don't like asking for shit anyway. So it's like, for them, I feel like they just don't like. They're still confused about what they even want to do, and they're like,
"Oh yeah, a lot of guys are pussies, you
exactly.
know. Yeah, 100%.
Big pussies."
Yeah, I agree.
Nice.
Me unpussy, bro. Oh God.
Nice. By the way, thank you so far, panel. Like, which is really good. Alex, you really shocked me. I was not prepared for this today.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I could be happy again. Honestly, like, I think I've been the most happiest since childhood.
Oh,
right now.
damn.
And that's the achievement everybody's kind of looking for now, is like that childhood like happy.
He's in
Found
love.
it.
Hell yeah.
So
I want to pose a question to the panel. I'm very happy for you, Alex. And I'm glad. Welcome to the real world, as they say. Well, I guess it's not the real world yet. Have you gone raw yet?
Yes.
Fucking. Welcome. Wafik has nothing on you now. Wafik has nothing on you now. You have a super student. The student has become the master.
I really want to make like a bachelor style dating show where Wafik is the bachelor and we just see how that goes.
Why would you put the poor women through that, though?
That's true.
Surprisingly enough, let's collaborate on this because I'm working on a dating show content thing that's as a side project to this. Including comics. Like the short premise of it is they'll we'll put them through kind of a speed dating thing. Actually, I'm going to a speed dating thing on Wednesday. But you kind of create a button. You know how women can cancel a guy out, right? But there's a minimum time. The guy's not aware of the time, and you'll have a clock there, right? Let's say they can, at 3 minutes or 4 minutes, we make it like a set, right? Like after 4 minutes.
Give me your time.
Well, after that time, the woman can, at any moment after that, decide to end the date, right? Like, so I think it would play well as well because is it going to happen, like that you're only entertaining him until the moment of dates? Are you going to get quiet, right? And the woman will not be a comic probably, otherwise it won't work. But the male comics are very competitive, and maybe there's the opposite version.
So like the button, but with comics?
No. It'll be a real date. It'll be a real speed dating, and if they choose, this will be a single woman. It won't just be a bit somebody that like from what I've gathered so far. Like we get a lot of women that say on the podcast, humor is a big thing, right? So okay, yeah, try to date a comic. If they choose one to go on a second date with, we'll pay for the date. We'll mic them up. We'll follow them. Do the whole thing.
Hey, some of these male comics aren't that funny, actually.
Yeah. That word is very subjective.
Yeah.
You would think you'd have to, I don't know, write a joke or be funny or something.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah.
Not just get in front of a microphone.
I mean, in reality, most of these are open micers,
No,
So
yeah.
I mean, it's like judging somebody at karaoke, like.
Oh, but I kill at karaoke, so they can try and test my gangster.
I saw your thingy.
Oh, the GalaxyCon karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, I was like, there's this newfound confidence in this guy, and now I know where it comes from. Like,
Dude, that room was filled with like at least 130 people.
Nice.
Like, cause it was filled to the brim, and there was people outside the hall. That shit was crazy. It was. In my head, I was like, if I fuck this song up, I'm going home. And it was a long song. It's an 8-minute song. And
holy shit!
It's
What?
just rapping.
What
Euphoria,
song?
Euphoria by Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had that, dude. I low key, because there's two different kinds of karaoke people. The ones that are there to just have fun, and then the ones who take it seriously.
Yeah,
And
those people
low-key-
can fuck off.
Low key, I needed my moment in order for my character growth. So I was like, I'm gonna learn this song, and whenever the opportunity strikes, I will take it. And I told my roommate, because she came with me to the con. She goes, "Are you gonna do what I think you're gonna do?" I was like, "If they have the song there, yes." And then it was there. I saw it, and like, cause I made it there first. I was one of the first people in that room, so that I could dibs the song. Had to get it. Somebody did not like us too, and like they were great, but I'm better. So.
Oh, fuck yeah. Now, I have another question, and then I'll jump off. But this is the roommate that you've been living for a while?
Yeah.
The grocery roommate?
Mm-hmm.
Now, does your current girlfriend have an issue with you buying groceries for your roommate?
Oh, I don't buy groceries for her anymore.
My fucking boy.
Well, it's not really for her anyway. Like, they were just there to grab. I think I just made it seem like I was buying them for her.
Yeah, but you were into her at the time, so that's probably...
Yeah, at the time for like a couple of months.
Listen, you're a man, sir. Like you're... I'm actually really taken aback. I don't know how to react to this, Emily. But please help me out. Is this
loving it.
crazy?
You want me to drop another bomb on you?
Yes.
Drop me
Yes.
another fucking bomb.
So you guys might think I just had sex one time, bro. I was there for like, I was back at it round 3. Yeah.
So
in that month. So I had sex
So,
3 times in that month.
how many
different
women
girls?
have
Wait,
you had
what's your-
sex with
yeah,
now?
3 different women.
What's your
Whoa.
body count? He's getting up there on the scoreboard.
Holy
Let's go.
fucking shit! Let's go.
And like, I want to preference too. It's not a big thing. Like, body count doesn't matter. But I need my moment because I've been a virgin for like 25 years.
But
And,
So I need to like fucking make up for that time.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'll tell you something, that I also had to make up for some lost time because I came to this country when I was 13. In Peru, the sexual maturity compared to like an American kid, like I might as well have been like 9. I was still playing with like action figures at 13 and whatnot, which is not what you do a lot, I guess, here, at least in the area that I grew up. And to tell you that my first girlfriend broke up with me because I was too much of a prude, like thought like it was this girl named Brandy. She was a ghetto girl, ghetto white girl. Wore wife beaters and everything, right? And I remember I asked her to be my girlfriend before I ever kissed her in 9th grade, right? Like, and she's like, yeah. And then I was like chicken shit terrified, like of like kissing her for like, we did it for like a week. And then like the day that I like, kissed her or give her like a peck on the mouth, she broke up with me. And understandably so, like she expected much more, than, and I was at that speed. From then until my early 20s, like I caught up, a lot. So I understand the feeling.
Damn,
my
dude.
boy banging them out, going raw already. Jesus Christ. Let me give you another one. June, you shake your head. Do you disagree about going raw? Do you not like to go raw?
I mean, maybe not, that quickly. I mean, now that you're in a relationship, sure, maybe, probably, but
I mean, I'll be real. I just didn't have a condom, and she didn't. But she was really into it. Because I wasn't expecting it. It was the first one. And I was like, I just wasn't expecting it.
You're rolling the dice, my boy.
I literally was
like
playing
it.
like it was. It's like when you first.
That's a total man move, by the way.
It's when you
Like-
first when you first learn chess and like you're playing against somebody and like they're really good. You finally get that 1 W. It felt like that. I didn't know I was gonna win or not.
oh my God, you're going to get a phone call in a few months.
Well, no, because I did pull out.
Yeah, he didn't shoot up the
Oh,
club.
yeah,
you know,
like that makes a
I'm
difference. Okay, yeah.
If you pull out,
Foolproof right
I'm
there.
if your pull-out game is strong, it's
No.
She doesn't
ups
have
the
my
probability. Yeah.
She doesn't have your number. Oh, there you
She doesn't even know my name.
go. Yeah. Oh my God.
Wow.
Hey, the comic card works out there too. I tried the second time.
The comics. So
The
she,
comic card using your comic card. You know
so she was a chuckle fucker, is what you're
Yeah.
telling me. You're gonna get another one out of you.
I'm laughing at this, but you guys are giving me faces of disgust.
I am. There's nothing but pride.
It's more about her being disappointed in her. Don't fuck a comic because they're a comic. It's not cool, especially if it's a
little.
man. It's like kind of cool.
Wow. Well, welcome to the fold, my friend. I'm glad. let's wet our palates here, change, cleanse our palates a little bit. Let me see what you guys think of this lady.
I already like the caption.
The reason I can't back a nerdy boyfriend is they are all in love with alt girls. And look, I get it, so am I, but I have a tattoo. Okay? Oh, that's not doing it for you? Alright, well, how about this? A foot tattoo as well. Still a no? Oh, come on. I make a great lasagna.
No. Does anybody believe her that she can't bag a nerdy boyfriend? We'll start with you, June.
I think they'd probably be scared that they were gonna get suffocated by her boobs. Like, she's so, boob forward. Like, I'd be scared. I'd be like, don't get too close. You might knock me over.
They can't hear over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I didn't hear a single thing she said,
Right,
actually.
exactly.
you know,
Yeah, they don't even know that she has a face.
I'd argue that that's one of their dreams is to be suffocated by them.
that's
By their
Absolutely.
packs of heavies.
Yeah.
I'd argue that's, you can, once again, 80% of the male population would agree. Like you're 80-20.
I mean, like nerds nowadays, that's all it is. It's like fucking anime and everything in anime is fucking big tits and big ass.
Is it?
Well, sometimes that's fan service. Like that's what they call it.
Oh, okay.
I think it's hard to date a nerdy guy though.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
difficult about it?
Well, just getting into a relationship with one because they don't, they probably have a very similar mindset in that like they don't think that anybody actually wants to be in a relationship with them.
No, it's very true. That's like a very common mindset, and I mean that comes from like trauma from like them growing up being like bullied a lot of the times. And I'm not saying every nerd was bullied, but sometimes like that's often the case. They were just people were being assholes to them, and they felt like they were small in the world.
Yeah. I don't know. I think probably Emily has experienced this where like being an attractive woman is not always the easiest in dating because a lot of guys just assume that you're a cunt, which I am, but they shouldn't assume that just based on my face.
I don't know. I'm just like, I've been so forward the past couple years. I don't know.
But that scares men, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Now, question about this: are you being forward with the same type of man? Is it that you're going the men that you're being forward with just happen to be the disappointing ones and the ones that are
might
coming
be
after
true.
you are
Yeah.
not getting the shot?
That's probably true. I mean, yeah.
'Cause
I don't know.
Do you have a type?
Not really. I'm trying to figure that out, I guess. I'm really kind of... I guess that's why I've been so forward the past couple years. I'm like trying to figure it out. It's
I
like,
have a
what's
type.
for me?
Yeah.
Alt girls, those are my type.
I was going to say girls that say yes. But
Damn.
Shut up, bitch!
Damn, I should have pressed that sooner. Yeah, it would have been funnier. It's okay. Okay. Yeah. No, interesting. What do you think that is? Like, I'll give you, like, June, you mentioned that dating is hard. And I have a question for all of y'all. You're on the apps? Bless you.
yes.
Now, I imagine that both you and Emily, get a tons of likes, right? Like, would you say that most of the likes that you get, you ignore, you give a shot to? Or?
I really don't.
Stop the cap!
I really don't.
Stop the cap!
Is that because you're not liking people?
Yeah, probably. Because I'm not really on there.
Yeah.
Like I don't pursue dudes. I figure if they're interested, they'll, come at me. And it's the ones that really get me though are like the conservative Christian dudes that like see my profile and think, oh yeah, she's going to be into me. I'm like, what the
Right?
fuck? Like,
Yeah,
what about
what?
me
That's
made
my
you
thing.
think, oh yeah, that's the one?
When I see like on Hinge, the people who like you, and I see someone who's like conservative, I'm like,
Yeah. It's like, what, are you just trying to convince me that I'm, wrong or going to hell or something? I don't know.
So you're saying that you would not date a conservative guy?
No.
Yeah? How come?
I think it usually has it's a pretty good indicator of their intelligence.
oh,
Yeah. Oh,
I think critical thinking cannot coexist with conservatism.
Now,
Conservatism. I can't say
what
that
do you
word.
think that is?
Because we have 200 years of proof that trickle down economics and those basic conservative values don't work. They don't they're just not good for the economy. They're not good for
they
people.
do work, but for the 1%.
Right. Yeah. And I don't. Yeah. I mean, I work very similar to Emily. Like I'm in mental health, and so I see the catastrophic effects of not having social systems in place.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck you if you think that you need $1 billion and babies don't need formula.
Yeah.
Do you want guys to pay on dates?
I was out one day and this guy's like, why didn't we come here first? He's like, the drinks are so much cheaper. I was like, I don't know how much drinks cost. I don't pay for mine.
So square this for me. Capitalism bad. Conservative man and all this other stuff, and still wanting to be paid for dates, because you would argue, right, if they are more focused on this like rat race, then they would be more of the types of guys that are conservative that would be take it as a thing to just pay on dates as opposed to your more progressive liberal guys that are like, equality, it should be 50-50.
See, for me, I'm of the belief that if I ask you to do something, I will pay. If I ask you to go to a concert with me, I will buy the tickets.
But you
I
just
will
said
buy
you
the
don't pursue
drinks.
men.
Exactly.
So I mean, isn't
but if,
that,
like,
but,
but if I'm going
but
out
isn't
with my
that isn't that
friends-
convenient to say I would if I invite you, and then at the same time say I don't invite people out, I don't pursue men.
No, but I'm saying like if I'm dating someone, like if it's already established that we are.
So he's already
dating.
paid for the first, second date enough for you to date. Was that correct?
I don't. Honestly, I hate eating dinner with people. Like I hate.
Right.
eating
But you
next to
mentioned
people.
once you're dating, then you pay for dates. But you also at the same time mentioned that, if you're gonna get ass on a date, right? Like at least the first couple of dates, the implication is that they would be paying, right? So is you paying later on, then not just already because he's already paid for you a number of times?
I don't think a date has to cost anything, just like you were saying. Like, no, but if you ask me, and I feel the same way about going out with my friends. Like,
And I don't mean to grill you, by the way. I'm just trying to
like if my
tie the
friends
two
ask
things
me
together.
to do things, like, the expectation for me is kind of like, either they'll get the tickets and I'll get the drinks or whatever. But no, I don't think it's too much to ask. Look, the amount of money that I spend on just being female far exceeds what that guy's going to pay for my drink that night,
Do you wear makeup for you or for men?
Probably a little bit of both.
Okay, so
Like I don't feel normal if I don't have it on, but yeah, I don't know.
and the reason I'm asking, right? I'm just trying to tie the thread here, right? Like you brought up that the amount that I spend, being female, right, and make the connotations. If you are doing it for the men, okay, I can see that point. It's like, okay, you're putting this into it, but a lot of times, the common thing that you hear is that makeup is for me, it's not for them, right? So I'm trying to marry those 2 points at the same time, and if it is for them, that they should be paying for they should be. Putting this thing like, Alex, do you think guys outside of just paying for the date, do they also need to pay for things to get themselves ready for the date? I don't know if it's clothes, perfume, or whatnot, and are those things equitable? Or?
Like pay for other women's things? Like,
No.
Is that what you're asking?
Is the trade-off that they're spending all this money on makeup and then for that you should pay for the date? What do you think about that?
I don't know about that. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm also I can't speak for everyone on that opinion. Me personally, I feel like I have done that in the past. I just can't remember because I have bought a lot of stuff for the other person.
Yeah.
Trying to date them. So and that was another big mistake, and we've talked about that a lot. That's one of the biggest mistakes I could have made, is constantly paying for something, because then for some people, they'll take that and use that to their advantage, and then it's like, well, who am I really? Am I buying a subscription, or am I just helping out a homie?
Mm.
I don't really I don't know. I just come from a background where I've just been abused financially, not just in relationships but friends too.
Yeah.
So I've just been the kind of person that's always giving and never thinks about it. But I think lately, I've changed my opinion on that. I don't really give people money anymore or anything like that.
Well, you got to have enough for yourself, and I think at the
Exactly.
time you were a little unbalanced on
I
that as well.
cared more for other people than I did myself, and that was another big negative mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And the reason why I ask, right, is because I definitely see this gap in dating, right? Oh shit! I just did that to myself.
Clash of Clans.
But I do see this gap in dating, right? And I see that we're much more sectioned off into what we even entertain. All right, and for example, I've mentioned this. I have this in a bit, but I would like to, just to see. It probably won't work out, but date a very conservative woman. First of all, a conservative woman's not going to date me with his wig to begin with. It's a little bit too off kilter. But I wonder if, it's interesting because there is a gap. I've mostly dated liberal women, as Emily has said, right? I date like a lesbian, so, lesbians in my experience tend to date a lot more liberally. But maybe not. Maybe there's conservative lesbians.
Sure, there
I think
are.
so.
There are
Yeah.
definitely conservative gay men.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's like a
Yeah.
big demographic.
Yeah. How about you, Emily? Like, when we were talking about this date, like, do you, even though you reach out to dudes, like, when you reach out, do you pay for them or do you want them to pay?
Usually it's split. Sometimes they pay. If it's like, if I'm inviting them to go to a show or something, I usually buy the tickets. Like if I'm saying like, oh, there's this show I really want to go to. Do you want to go? Then that's like, I'm going to buy the tickets.
Do you prefer, in your ideal scenario, would you like them to invite you to the show and then pay for the tickets?
Yeah,
Or you
I mean, ideally they're that's more of like they're planning, they're putting
Exactly.
thought into
That's
something.
so much more important than
it's
the
not
money.
about the money. It's them like
Exactly.
having a thought
Yep.
about
Yep.
wanting to do something fun
100%. Yeah.
with me.
Okay, I like it. Let me have you all react to this quick video since Ginger reminded me of it, and I have it perfectly here.
Men should always pay on the first date, and this is why.
Tell us why.
There's about to be $2,000 on my face.
$2,000?
Just in the
What hell
lips.
you putting on your goddamn face?
Yeah.
Dior moisturizer, $135. Dior capture view serum, $125. Dior primer, $50. Armani primer, $46. Polish filter, $49. Chanel liquid highlighting drops, $57. Dior foundation, $57.
She doesn't look any different after she puts all the makeup on, though.
Chanel blush stick, $54. L'Oreal highlighter, $27. Chanel powder, $56. Dior bronzer, $50. Dior highlight, $50. Dior backstage, $48. These Dior blushes, $80 total. Dior backstage, $52.
Also, that makeup's gonna last her at least 6 months. So it's like
Eyelash curler, $35. Dior mascara, $33.
2,000 divided by however many times she puts it on
Charlotte Tilbury,
throughout the 6 months.
Chanel lip oil, $48. Chanel lip gloss, $40. Urban Decay setting spray, $36. Total cost is $1,745.
Well, goddamn, you gotta put all that on your face. You a whole little filter.
If you're a girl, make sure the man pays.
She can't be serious, right?
Don't waste $2,000 on nothing.
Oh, he needs to pay because you put $2K on your face. But who gonna pay the $800 car note and the $500 insurance on the car that he used to come get you? The $100 that he put in that gas tank to come get you. The outfit he bought to go on a date with you, that's probably like $200. The cologne that he sprayed on him, that's probably like $100 or more. The haircut he went and got, that's like $50. At this point, girl, you probably owe him.
June, your reaction.
I think the biggest difference is probably race in that situation. Like, we're dating white men who fucking suck, and they're not doing any of that effort. I won't let a guy pick me up for a date. I don't want him to know where the fuck
Yeah,
I live.
exactly. Amen.
Absolutely not. I will come to you. I will come to wherever it is that you live. Again, it's about the effort, not about the money. And men equate money and effort. So I just play along, right? Like, if you plan a date that is completely free and I have a good time, that's a way better deal for me than like if you take me to a really expensive restaurant and, you know, I don't have a good time.
As long as you're white. As long as you're white. Because you said we date white men. Is that
Yeah,
mostly
we
what
date
you think?
shitty white men. Yeah, I think that's probably the difference is that
Why don't you date
I've
not
dated
white men
shitty
then?
black men before.
yeah. Actually, I don't really date white men. I mostly date Hispanic men, but
Shouts out.
yeah.
Shouts out my Latins.
yeah,
Latinos. Let's go, baby.
I actually don't like white men at all. I'm just saying, like I'm
And the
not,
Latino men, are you still having bad experiences?
No, they're just not doing all of those things that she said that they're doing. Like that, I guess that's the goal. Like I don't know. I'm not that lady in the I'm not putting $2,000 on my face either, and I'm not expecting them to take me to a 5-star restaurant or whatever. Like if anything, that makes me very uncomfortable. Money makes me uncomfortable. That's probably really the root of
Felt
this. Money makes me very uncomfortable. So it's just easier to say, here's my blanket, like you pay, because otherwise it'll just be all consuming for me.
I mean, she's
That's all
also
I'll
like
think about.
telling us that her face is a product, and
Right.
so she's gonna find men that treat her like a
A
product.
product, exactly.
So,
Yeah,
and they'll have a happy, superficial life together.
right.
No, that makes sense. And the reason why I ask, right, it's kind of relating to our boy over here, right? Our man
Our
now.
man.
Our man
Our
now. He is a
Put
man.
some respect.
It's old man now. Watch out, ladies. He might fuck both of you on this table right here.
They
you
call
know.
him the boy, but where's the man? Because I ain't seen him yet.
Oh, but and this is a relation that sometimes it can very well be the patterns that we find ourselves in dating that end up to the same outcome, right? And speak to this, Alex, a little bit, because I feel like nothing changed about you except that what your mindset was. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, like personally, I just feel like having a positive outcome on a lot of things will change how you do a lot of things and how you like confidently execute things. Like back then I just kept thinking I was a loser, and so I would make that very clear. Like I was pretty open about that. I would let people know, hey, I think I'm a fucking loser. That's why these things don't work out for me. And so bringing that up even in the process of like trying to be in a relationship with someone was my way of kind of opening up and letting them know, hey, I'm kind of hurting and like I just kind of need some help. Could you help me out, kind of deal. But I would take that a little bit too extreme and be like, oh, could we like date or some shit like that? And then I would use that as like, I guess, a way to open up to people, because that's all I ever wanted to talk about was my emotions, because I didn't really have an outlet for that.
Yeah.
So I mean, personally, I just feel like the things that I did to get, you know, the women that I have now was more so stuff that I kept saying in the beginning. I just never found anybody that liked me for me, and she likes me for me. Honestly,
Do you like
I like me for me now.
Now he does. After Charlotte.
Yeah, you know, he's like, I've had 3 and this one's the best, you know, like, so I'm gonna lock it down. Okay. Thank you. Mindset. And let's start rolling with that. Emily, what's the shortest guy you would date? Serious
The shortest
relationship.
guy? I dated a guy who was like, he was like 5'6" or 5'7".
I've heard of this guy, and it
That
seems to
was-
be your only example.
That was my only example, I think. No, I dated another guy who was like 5'8". So, yeah, you know, as long as they're nice.
And
Well, that was like the
what
he was nice, yeah.
percentage would you say of men that you've dated were under 6 foot?
I don't know. Like in a relationship?
Yeah.
Well, like 50%.
50%?
I haven't been in like that
Okay.
many relationships.
Okay,
things that I was, like,
situationship. Let's say.
Oh, situationships? Then it's probably like 5%.
Fair enough. June, we'll jump to you. What's your minimum height, and have you, you know, do you date short at all? What's the shortest guy you would date? You consider dating or situation shipping?
I dated a guy who was probably like 5'2", I think. My dad is 6'4",
Yeah.
so I'm used to tall men. You know,
How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Okay. So
But I'm just saying, like, my dad is 6'4", my brother is 6'2", so I think, yeah, of course, there's an.
But what does that
stereotype.
mean?
Just I was used to being around tall men.
I mean,
She can't see them if they're under 6 feet tall.
No, look, I date Hispanic men. They are not tall. All of my long-term partners
we're tall in
have
we're
been
tall in
under-
our country.
have,
Okay?
have been under 6 feet. So the tallest guy I've ever dated was 6'7", but that was very short-lived. Yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah.
That's crazy. It freaks me out when they're that tall.
Yeah, it was very weird.
Yeah. Do you have so what's the shortest that you would go? That you would seriously consider for a situationship?
Well, the last guy I dated seriously, I think he was like 5'6", 5'7". He was
Okay.
about my height.
So about, well, you're 5'5", right?
Yeah.
So he's taller than you.
Well, I'm always in heels.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like I pretty much live in heels, so.
Okay. And it didn't work out, I take it?
Nope.
Did height have anything to do with it?
No.
Okay, fair enough. I have another video for you to react to.
15% of women show an interest in 5'8" men on dating apps.
I don't know what I would do if I was short. This is a hard time for short men. This is why dating apps are terrible. When a woman is looking at a dating app, she can just look at numbers on the screen and set who she does and does not want to talk to. Real life is different. I once went out with a girl and I showed up, she said, "Hey, I thought you were 6'3". And I said, "No, I don't lie on my profile." And I made her check, and then she saw that I was right, and she said, "Oh, okay." And then we went and had a beer. But she was disappointed that I was 5'11". I guess she was talking to a lot of guys. We had fun anyway. I also have a friend who is 5'9", and he once told me a story about meeting a girl and flirting with her, and she said, "Well, you're short, and I don't usually date short guys." And he didn't know what to do with that, and nothing ever happened. And my advice for him is the same as my advice for you if you're in the don't matter zone with me. Technically, I'm in it too. And that is that when that girl said, "Usually, I don't usually date short guys," what she meant was, keep going. Give me a reason. There are visible things about you, and there are invisible things about you. Maybe you're funny, or you're smart, or you're romantic. And it takes women longer to see those, but they do see them. My 5'9" friend, he got married to an attractive, intelligent woman, and they have a child, which it will grow up to be probably 5'9", have the same problems. But the point is, you can do it. You just have to go outside. Get off the apps, go outside, and tell women what's good about you.
I want to see what
Don't
this guy
get
looks like.
black-pilled. You can do it. It's possible.
I don't like his little stick figures either.
Yeah.
I like it. Picasso.
Reaction to that video. Let's start with Alex.
I don't know. I think
How tall are you?
I'm 5'11".
Nice. Oh, so you're as tall as this guy. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So like, I think height really shouldn't matter at all. But I'm not gonna down anybody's preference, because I mean I don't know like the whole idea of having either a tall or a short.
Do you care how tall or short a woman is?
Not at all, honestly.
Yeah. Do you think women care more?
I've heard that they care more. That I've heard that it happens. Here's the thing, like
allegedly.
I guess for me, like that was never like the biggest radar for me. That was not the thing.
Well,
But-
5'11" is like tall for Hispanic, especially.
Oh yeah, I'm the prodigy. But
Yeah. I'm tall in Peru, but you'd be very tall.
Oh, but like I don't know. I just think it's an unnecessary thing to really like kind of be like, oh, this is what is it? I don't know the term for it. Deal breaker. Like this is the deal breaker.
Yeah, and the reason why I ask, right, is because it seems like dating has gotten harder and harder, and to the point in this app, right, like it sometimes feels that people are pre-selecting, and then very limiting their choices to what they think they want, and then everything within that pool turns out to be a dud, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, everybody sucks, all men suck, all women suck, but it's like, well, and this is what I bring it back to, the mindset, because you yourself had narrowed a pool or even your approach, right? And once you change your mindset and whatnot, you said you're the happiest you've ever been before, right? Like,
there's a lot of negative mindsets in the world, obviously now, obviously then, I just think we're all still stuck in this like depression state, like the whole world is. So regardless of the things that I tell people that they should do, how they should feel, stuff like that, I mean, that's not going to change. So like, I don't know. I just feel like it's just super unnecessary to really think about.
Thank you, Alex.
But I also like short women though, so I just want to put that out there.
Ideal height. What's your ideal height?
5'4", 5'5".
Okay.
Solid.
Nice. Perfect. Emily, what's your reaction to that video?
I feel like that's the type of video that comes up on like incels For You page.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, man, I'm just like.
But you yourself said that you're like, oh, I've dated one or two short guys,
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like that I didn't like anything about that video.
Do you feel like did you feel specifically targeted by that video?
No.
Okay, just checking.
It just make you uncomfortable.
I just feel like I didn't like the way he was like. I didn't like the way he talked. I didn't like the way he walked. I didn't like the way he talked.
Perfect. Thank you, Emily. June, what did you think about that video?
Yeah, same. I think the whole like, well, if you're talking to someone and they say, they're not interested, just keep talking to them. It's like, no, fuck, don't. Like, again, you can tell when someone is interested. Like, if they tell you, oh, I don't date guys that are your height, like, that's the answer. Like, it sucks that they're losing the opportunity, to get to know you, but like, that's a pretty hard and fast answer. Like, I'm just not interested. A lot of women don't feel comfortable saying that, like those words, because it can get us into some dangerous situations. So it's easier to just be like, oh, I'm more attractive to this anyway. Ugh, yeah. Like,
Well, you'd argue that the short guy probably harder for him to, get the height on you, the drop on you, like,
The drop on you.
I don't know. I'm pretty dangerous. I don't know.
Is there a minimum amount that a guy would have to make for you to consider him in a serious relationship?
Financially?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so you can work at McDonald's.
Yeah, I think it has more to do with.
Stop the cap.
No, seriously. It would be weird. I mean, I'm 40 years old. It'd be weird if I dated someone that worked at McDonald's. But I get it's like more so about the mindset. Like I met this really nice guy that was a nurse. He was just a passenger in my car, but he was a nurse and he had quit the nursing field because of the insanity with COVID. And he was just like working at a pizza place. And he's like, I've never felt so happy. So I think, is he working at McDonald's because he doesn't want to do something else, or is he doing it for his to kind of take a mental load off, or is he just doing it because he has absolutely no like aspirations? But I think there's people that work in other fields that have no aspirations either. It's really more so about mindset for me.
So you want the ideal partner to have aspirations, greater aspirations.
100%, yeah.
Okay.
Make a difference in the world. Like you can work at McDonald's and make a bigger difference than working some other job.
Why is it important that they make a difference in the world? That's an interesting concept.
I just have such a, I don't know. I've always thought of, I guess I'm a helper, so I want somebody to, that's also a helper. Because
You know what? I feel that. I
you
like
know?
100% relate to that because
Yeah.
honestly, I would love to have somebody that has a similar mindset
yeah.
to you. Like, because I also feel like if my partner doesn't have like the same, I guess, somewhat of a similar morality
Exactly.
towards a lot of
Right.
things, then it's going to
Value
be kind of
system.
uncomfortable because like you could date somebody and you might not know this one thing about them, but they'll have like a really bad day, and then you'll see like how they really are, and it's like that doesn't really roll with how I feel about other things. Like they could have one opinion,
Yeah.
you guys have like budding ideas, it just wouldn't work,
Right.
and that can get uncomfortable. I mean, sometimes people kind of deal with it and they like go through with it, but at the same time, how many of them are being miserable?
Yeah. I mean, you only get one life, and if you're just moving through the world without trying to make any positive impact, I feel like you're wasting it.
Okay. Could do you think that the thought of as an individual making a huge impact could just be an egocentric thing, thinking that one is bigger than one actually is?
Sure, but I didn't say huge impact. I just like
No, you said impact making the world better, so that's
right,
what I'm
but that
asking.
could just be making one person's day better.
Like your day.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Right? So then it doesn't
Yeah,
matter
no.
what he does,
The
right? As
only-
long as he's making,
making my day. No, people only do things to make themselves feel better. Everything that we do is only to make ourselves feel better. It has nothing sure, it's great when it has a positive impact on other people, but like, I guess if that's the base mindset of like, I'm only doing this thing to make myself feel better. Are you doing a good thing or a bad thing? Are you, objectively, or are you, making the world a better place? Like, are you throwing trash out of your car window?
But if it's only for yourself, then the way you're saying, then it's just for show, then, right? Like, is it just for the appearance that you're making the world better? If you're arguing that at the base we're just doing it to make ourselves feel better?
No, because you're not. If you're making someone's day better by, taking their grocery cart, you're not like nobody's gonna make a fucking Dateline.
So the little details then is what's important. Okay,
yeah. It's about the mindset of making sure that your existence in the world improves other people's existence in the world.
Even if it's self-serving.
Yeah, everything is self-serving.
Okay, I like it.
Nice. You like nice people.
Shocking.
Go that far.
Or the appearance of nice people, right? Because if there's a guy that has ulterior motives, and what we call is selling the dream, it's called selling the dream because there are I would argue that most men, especially in 2024, hear the opinions of women like what they want, right? So then it's very easy to pretend to be something, that you're not or outwardly. And I feel like, Emily, you have some horror stories that you've dated some men like this that seem to be acting the right things, but then they turn, I think back to the guy with the beers, that, just brought, you just went back to his place, the English guy,
That was that was bad. That definitely made me a more cynical person.
Over 6 foot tall. I would argue. In a British accent. Watch out.
Right. Garbage.
Great. Thank you so far. I'm gonna interject with another quick video, and then we'll keep it going since you guys love this guy so much.
Oh, it's him again?
I think.
Keep from being cynical. I'm literally not a person on the chart. If you are a lower value male, you are going to have fewer women interested in you. But there's a lot you can do about that. If you're a woman and you're in shape and you take care of yourself and you went to therapy and you don't have other guys in your life and you have things in common with the kind of men that you're looking for, you're maxed out. There's not very much way for you to move up for each individual man. If you're a man, you can get in shape and make yourself look better, get a haircut, clean yourself up. You can also become more charismatic and climb the social ladder. You can earn more money and promise her a better future. You can make yourself look better and make her feel better to be seen with you. You can get a lot of experience and make women feel very comfortable with you. There's a lot more that...
Shout out Alex.
And remember, this is how women see men they don't know. But when they get to know you, it evens out. People end up with people on their level. So if you're a man and the world looks like this, if you work on your social skills, then the world will start to look more like this. And if you get fit and get a haircut and learn to dress and move up in your career and work on your personality and get confident, and if you do well at those things, then the world will start to look more like this, the better you do. This is not fair. Nature is not fair, but there's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is work on yourself. And guess what? I have a business where I help.
Oh,
Okay.
there it is. There it is. He's selling us something. No wonder I don't like him.
Yeah.
He's making these dumb videos for incels trying to sell his dating advice.
Now, question: do you think? Let's go around the table and we'll start with Emily. Do you think men or women date down, or is it about it equally?
I don't know. I mean, my first problem with that video is that there's the expectation that women are already working on their women should have their appearance, their hobbies, their job. All of that is the expectation for women. And then for men, it's oh, these are things that you can improve on. We know it's not the expectation for men to have these things, but you can improve that. But for women, that's the expectation in his video. So I don't like that.
Okay. Do you think? Back to the question that I asked
Sorry.
Do you think? No. I want to hear what you said. But I also want to. If you had to guess, because we probably don't know. Do you think it's more common for men or women to date down?
Probably women, because there is that expectation that the bar is so low for men.
Mm-hmm.
Stop the cap.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think men date down way more. I think, personally, I feel like there's not even an extra step for men to just even think about it. They just go full send. Versus I mean, you guys still I think you guys at least think about if they're gonna be a good fit for you, right? Men, not to fucking call them out, but men just do. They just they're just always I don't know what I'm trying to say. They're very head on about just doing that. Versus women, you guys give it at least a second thought. Does that make sense? I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, out of the people in your DMs, what percentage would you say that you've taken them up on a date?
I don't have anyone in my DMs right now.
But in the past or whenever you get on the apps. Would you say that's the majority of people that hit you up?
No.
Now, Alex, as a guy, would you say that, like, if you got hit up, like, would you say that you would give the majority of the women that hit you up a chance or no?
Yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, single times, like, I was just down to, like, hang out with anybody if I knew I could, like, potentially be in a relationship with him. And this is just talking about relationship aspects. Like, if somebody even gave me the time of day, like, I was kind of, like, already starting to develop that feeling. And that's just to say how lonely I felt. Like, then I was just really, like, in a bad spot.
No, thank you for that. And once again, this podcast aims to bridge the divide and see, because we have so far, and we'll go on to June next, but he's contracting both people thinking that each sex is dating down, right? So there's definitely a gap here, right, in dating, in understanding. June, if you had to guess, do you think that overall are women more prone to date down, or are men more prone to date down?
I think men do, because they're more conscious of it. Like it said, I mean, the one thing that he said that was pretty accurate is, like, once a woman gets to know you, we no longer view it that way. And maybe we start out viewing it a little differently, but, like, I think men, if you're in public with someone and they think that you're out of their league, they're going to notice every little thing that happens. And they're just going to, it's like a tick system in their head. And they're like, oh, she's out of my league. Oh, she's out of my league. Look, she's probably fucking that guy because he's looking at her. Like, And so, yeah, I'd say men are more conscious of it. And they continue to be more conscious of it. So, but I mean, then I guess it kind of makes it so that women have to date down too, because if we try and date up, the guy isn't, it doesn't work.
Well, he'll fuck you, but he's not gonna give you a relationship,
right?
Because men date down,
right?
Yeah. No, and the reason why I ask, right, is because if you are agreeing that if they know you, then maybe you'll give them a chance. Then maybe have you considered maybe getting to know a conservative guy? And then maybe the perception changes.
No, because I know that our value systems are too different.
Yeah.
As far as social systems.
When was the last time you dated a conservative guy?
Yeah, maybe never. I grew up in a very, very, very conservative Christian area. My parents were pastors. I was a youth pastor until, like, basically COVID.
But by your earlier admission, your dad was the men in your family were taller, so that's why you date taller men. And by following that same logic, then wouldn't you also date what you knew in the past, unless the prior reason for dating taller men just doesn't listen? Do you know what I'm saying?
No, my ex-husband was very conservative.
Okay.
But so now I've grown up and realized that that's, like, not, I'm not saying I've never dated a conservative person. I'm just saying it's not. Yeah. I know now that is not my value system.
And you're probably right? The reason why I sometimes mention it is because I think, like, that we sometimes can broad brush the entire thing, and then, I myself have this experience when I was younger. I used to date a particular type of woman, and then out of nowhere, like my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend later on, just kind of shocked me, and we ended up dating, fell in love and whatnot. And it was a person that I would not think that I would normally date. Mm-hmm. But then that kind of, like, shook me out of it in a way that I was like, oh, I don't actually know what the fuck I want. You never know how love is going to strike you, right? And so it made me a lot more open to even at least entertaining possibilities. Even I thought, like, maybe it's not going to work out, but just be open to hearing and seeing what it is. And in a world of hyper-cater experience through this, right, that only feeds you whatever you already like, or whatever the people like you already like, I sometimes find that it's kind of harder to bridge those gaps.
See, I think for me, though, if I met a guy and then, you know, we hit it off and I found out he was conservative, I would entertain the idea. But like when I'm on a dating app and I see you're a conservative Christian and you saw my profile, it's like, oh, she's this, you know, I don't know. It feels very much so like they're just trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, oh, it's an alt girl. I want to, you know, I want to try that out. Like they, a lot of guys are like, oh, are you a dom? Like, if I were, you couldn't afford me. But, you know, so like they just look at me and they think of me as this.
If you're looking for a dom, call Emily.
Yeah. They look at me and they just see me as this like, you know, I don't know.
Have you ever pegged a guy?
No. God,
Okay.
no.
You wouldn't want to.
Yeah, that's why I say call Emily.
No. Ugh, no, absolutely not.
If you're looking for a dom, she's right here. You know, camera
I'm
on the
ready.
right.
Yeah. I would whip a dude. I would pistol whip a dude. I would violence for sure. Sexual, no.
I have a man to introduce you that
Yeah.
feels the same way. His name is Wafik. Yeah,
no.
Cool. This is a great conversation, by the way, guys. Thank you. Can I get anybody anything to drink? Well, you know.
I'll take a Coke Zero.
Yeah, Coke Zero. Emily?
I'm good.
Not sponsored by Coke.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's why we got these.
While I do that, I'd like you to react to this video and tell me what you
Yeah,
think.
sorry, I can't touch that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries.
That's why I took it off. This texture.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, autism.
Hell yeah.
You shouldn't take anything I have to say to apply to the general public because I don't.
No. This is all bridging. Everybody that's come on this podcast has their own point of view.
Be able to shake women a little, and women should be able to, and women should still be able to shake women a little, and women should be able to open hand slap men once in an argument.
What?
Once per heated argument, not day to day. Once per heated argument, you get to go, you pig,
And then he gets to take you and go,
come on,
get yourself together.
yeah. I think that's good.
They're Latino.
Honestly, I'm into that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like, that is.
And honestly, I think I need to be shaken a lot. I think I need to be shaken once a week.
I think I need to be shaken too. I might start asking my man to shake me.
Because
It's a
honestly,
slippery slope.
Emily, thoughts?
They're Latinas. Period.
Full stop.
What does that mean?
It's the Puerto Rican in them.
Yeah.
Would you do that trade off? Like if you could hit a guy, but he can shake you?
Absolutely not.
No?
No, I think physical violence is never a good sign.
Have you ever hit a guy?
No.
Never kicked them in the balls?
No.
Never.
I don't think so. Not as an adult. Like maybe in like elementary school when I didn't know how to handle my emotions. I definitely hit some people when I was a child and didn't understand how to manage my emotions. But
Fair
as
enough.
an adult,
June, what do you think of that deal?
Honestly, I gotta, yeah.
You take that
I
deal?
would, yeah.
If you can hit him, but he can shake you.
Yeah, I think I just want to try being shaken. It sounds kind of fun. I don't know about the slapping thing. I mean, I do like a good slap. I think that's like the most like potent form of, I would rather slap somebody than punch somebody. Like it's so insulting on top of being like, it's like just painful enough.
It depends on the context. It can also be very erotic.
Yeah. I had oh my God, I can't believe I'm about to say this. A guy was choking me one time and I was like, am I just being too loud? And he was like,
wow.
that's how kinky I am, guys. I was like, do you want me to shut up? Like,
So these conservative guys are liking your profile.
Right.
They have you figured right. It sounds like.
no. Yeah, I like biting. I like to be bitten. So
Perfect.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're really getting into it.
yeah, no. So I think shaking. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask somebody to do that for me.
Alex, what do you think about that deal? Would you Would you take that deal?
I don't want to get hit, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, even if you could shake the shit out of her afterwards.
No, I don't want to do that either. That sounds like fucking rude. That's rude. You know, you give somebody a concussion, especially me. Like that shit's not cool. I don't like that.
Okay.
But also like, I don't know. I guess like in a kink version, like I guess that would work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been hit yet, so.
I've been hit before. You
Yeah?
know. It came as a surprise, and
Did it
I don't
feel
know
like a
where.
novela?
Surprisingly enough, she was Hispanic, but she was also kind of like goth.
Hey!
But she was also gothy. She was also kind of gothy,
Oh, that's
you know.
hot.
And she was on top, and out of nowhere, she just like slapped the shit, like, you know, while we were doing it. And it obviously kept going. I mean, like, but at the time, it was kind of hot. Not that it would be my preference, but in the moment, it was, you know. Not
I don't
so
know. I
bad.
feel like in the heat of the moment, like that shit sounds fire.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
But at the same time, I've been with women that just want to be like fucking restrained, tied up, like have these, you know, I bought all these goddamn things with the Velcro and everything, and it's like too much, you know, like too much for me. Like it's like, I mean, I've said it before on this podcast, and I'll say it again. You know, whatever it takes you to come, that's what I'm doing. You know, but. It's like how much work, you know, like when it gets to all these restraints, it almost makes you think it's like, wow, do you actually like having sex or do you just have like a pain kink? You know, like,
I need to clean the whole house in a maid outfit before I can come.
That's great.
you must have seen the Akil episode because he kind of talks about
Good
that.
Lord.
So I have a question for the panel, and we'll start here on this end, June. Is it ever okay to date one of your friend's ex? And if so, like, what are the conditions? Like, does it have to be a certain period after or anything like that?
Yeah, tell us about the time you dated your friend's ex.
No, I have this thing called pathological demand avoidance, which means that if you tell me I can't do something, that's the only thing I want to do. So in high school, I was terrible about pursuing the guys that my frenemies liked, just because I could. No, I don't.
Get 'em.
Yeah, if your friend dated the guy, you probably know him well enough to realize like what was wrong with him. So I wouldn't like, I don't know. I don't see the idea of like sloppy seconds. I guess I would never want to.
Have you
ever dated one of my friend's exes? No.
No. Okay. But theoretically, would you? No.
I don't think so. I mean, unless they were like, you know, they went out a handful of times, there was nothing there, or like, you know, it just didn't work out or whatever. But I just don't, I mean, I don't know. Why would you shit where you eat kind of thing? I just don't think, but I also don't have a lot of female friends. So
you wouldn't want to, would it be more like, as you mentioned, right? Like you know what's wrong with a person. Would that be the bigger driver or be the driver that you wouldn't want to upset your friend? Because in this assumption that I heard, I mean, it assumes that your friend wasn't the one that was wrong. That was in the wrong there.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that if you're like that, your friend would be more valuable than dating the person. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like if you're actually friends with someone and that was going to be a point of contention, why would you do it?
Okay, fair enough.
Like for me, it would be the value of the friendship would be more important than like seeing if I like this person.
Okay.
I don't
know. Thank you for that. Alex, what are your thoughts? Is it ever okay dating your friend's ex? And if so, how long do you have to wait?
In my personal experience, I think it's a really, really, really bad idea. So I can't mention names, but I had a friend group. My friend group, we were all roommates. We all bunked in a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom house with 4 people. And we were like throwing parties and like having fun, like pretty much like we'd call our crib the hangout.
Yeah.
And so we just invite like all of our friends from different friend groups to come over. My homies, I'm gonna try and give them names. My homie Brad and my homie Jordan. Jordan was dating somebody for a little while, and they had just met during like one of our parties, so it's like a summer long party, and my boy Brad, they had broken up, and it was like a really bad breakup. My boy Brad was living there on the couch, and I had moved out to go back with my parents during like the economic crisis 2 years ago, and they actually started seeing each other, Brad and the girl, and they were all living together on the couch. And like there was one day where Jordan had left to go to Charlotte to see his current girlfriend, and Brad and the girl went up to Jordan's room and had sex on his bed.
God, that's
it's
dirty.
It's diabolical.
Yeah.
And the other homie in there, I'm trying to think of a name to give him, Charles, he let that happen because he knew what was going on. He stopped him at first. He was like, yo, don't do that. Like, that's actually a really bad idea.
Yeah.
But then he was like, you know what? You guys are grown adults. Y'all do whatever y'all want. And he went back into his room. And I was like, all right, that's fair. Once you give him one warning, that's like game over.
What would you have done? You would have given them.
I would have told her to get the fuck out of the house. That's problems. That's problems you don't want. Especially when all of them are living
dynamic
together.
with the dynamic.
Yeah, that's a really bad fucking idea. And so I'm glad I left because the aftermath of all that, because Jordan didn't find out until like a year and a half later. So we're all living together still.
God.
And then once he found out, he crashed out. It was crazy because he was like, "That's my fucking bed. Why'd you do that on my bed?" Yeah. And like, it's just even more disrespectful that it was an ex of his.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's already disrespectful that you're using it as bed, but if it's somebody you know, all right, homie, I feel you, go clean my sheets, but if it's the ex, that's another layer to it.
It's so crazy. Like, we still talk about it to this day because we just like poking his fucking buttons because he pisses us off a lot. We're all like we're nerds, so we play a lot of video games together.
Yeah.
And so Jordan, he fucking sucks at video games sometimes. And so like me, I play a lot, so of course I'm gonna be good. And so I try to help him out. And then they just like to bring it up, and I just the comedian in me is like, all right, let me fuck with him. And so we'll just go back and forth. So they still do not like that event to this day.
Yeah, ladies, what do you think about this? Never trust a guy that lives on a couch because that guy fucks.
Yo, they're demons.
Yeah.
Fiends.
Yeah, that's wild. So, do you think it would have been better if there was a lag, or just like don't sleep with your?
I just think it's like an unspoken rule to not do that because like regardless of the situation, whether or not they were living with each other or not, that causes problems in the friend group a whole.
Let's say they didn't live together, and it didn't work out because arguably we were just talking about earlier.
Gotta take that to your grave, then.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, and if somebody finds out, you make sure they either forget or you better break it. You better break up with that girl. You better hope they the real ones, and they like will either keep that or you have to like cut it off. Cause for real, I hate that fucking problem shit. Like it breaks and ruins friendships, and like I've lost a lot of homies, like a lot of close friends that I did call my best friends, and like that shit hurts. So seeing the in group like fight with each other, that's not cool.
Yeah.
And so like I was gone for like a year when all that happened. I didn't really talk to anybody because I was trying to like stack my bread and like focus on comedy. Yeah. And then I came back to a fucking disheveled crew, and I had to smack some sense into them. I was like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? And then don't get me started. I don't want to put out his trash, but like at the time, like
we want to hear it.
Jordan was also like fucking seeing like multiple women on the weekends. So it's like,
yeah. So this guy's fucking. He's like, he's not gonna miss one, Like.
At the time, because we're all, we've all grown up from all that situations. Like, I lived with scums, and I was a scum at the time.
Sure.
So it was fucking wild. But I mean, now we're all changed. Like we're all like okay. Like nobody's fucking crazy anymore. At least I hope. At least that's what they're telling me.
Yeah.
I don't live with them anymore, so I'm out here doing my own thing. So
you live and you learn and you grow. Okay.
Exactly. But don't date your homies' exes, because as fun as it sounds for them, it's not fun in the long run.
But question on this, right? Because we were talking about this as well, that it can be difficult to meet some people in the apps, and if it's one of your ex's friends, assuming that they're cool with, they're almost like pre-vetted. You know that this person is somebody that's known, right? Like so, yeah. Assuming, right? Like unless if it's a bad breakup, I can understand, right? But if it's a good breakup, does that change things at all?
Ooh, you know what? I think so. And here's the reason I think so. Because if the interaction is organic, like say they never met each other, like the girlfriend just never met the group, and they see them on like you were saying on Tinder, like say I see Samantha like on Tinder, and like we're really feeling each other, then I think that's fair game. And I think the other person has to kind of like understand that, oh, that was an organic interaction. That wasn't like me bringing this girl to the group. I think it's fair game. And if they don't think it's fair game, then they're still not over it. And then at that point, they need to heal.
Fair. Emily, also, if you want, you can turn that little thingy and raise your mic if it's too short.
Okay.
Yeah. The other way.
I'm just trying to fix my posture, you know?
Yeah, no, but raise it so, yeah, perfect.
You gotta have a straight back.
I know.
All right. Yeah, much better?
Yeah, now I'll keep my posture good.
Perfect. What's your take on dating exes friends, or like friends exes, and is it acceptable? If and when is it acceptable?
It's acceptable if your ex comes out as gay and then dates your other gay best friend.
So you wouldn't like, let's say you had an ex, he broke up with you, it wasn't gonna work out, and then a year later,
It didn't work out because I was gay, and this is my truth. I'm feeling that's beautiful. I hope you and Jordan work out well.
But let's say he's heterosexual, and he's like, oh, a year later, he's like ends up dating one of your friends. Would that be cool? Would that not be cool?
Probably not. I can't imagine that happening. My girl best friend is married, and my guy best friend is a straight man. So that probably will never happen.
Fair enough. Cool. I have another little video here to what y'all beak, and then we had like another 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll wrap up. Since we've done a little bit over an hour and a half. Let me know what you think about this.
How to get into a guy's head. How to make him freaking obsessed with you. Now, I don't know if you're going to want to do this, because they are going to be all over you. There will be no more chasing needed by your end. They're going to be wrapped around your little finger. Number one, text him his name and then don't answer. None. Done. Ghost. We're gone. There is no response after that. He is going to be first kind of freaking out, kind of shitting himself, but then he's going to get into like, oh crap, I really want to know what she wants to say, whatever, and be so invested in you and in that conversation for as long as you don't answer. And then once it is a couple hours, and when I say a couple, I mean about 4 to 5 hours later, then you can say, oh crap, I totally forgot what I was going to say. He will be wondering about it for days. Number two, hold eye contact with him. It makes him so nervous, and it creates like this sex drive, and it'll make him want you even more. It'll make him start that obsession with you. But you have to keep the eye contact like very strong and very not weird and awkward, but just like you're actually looking at him and you're looking directly into his eyes. My
People are doing
that.
that?
The world is telling you that you don't know if he's your type. You're still kind of figuring it out. Now this will make him want to be your type. This will make him want to figure out what your type is and be that person for you. And he's going to be invested into thinking everything that you want from him, and he's about to do that. Because men can't lose, and now it's a game to him. And last but not least, tell him that you feel safe with him. Guys love to be in their masculine era, and if you tell him that you feel safe with him, then he will be in that masculine era, and that is exactly how he wants to feel with a woman. So good luck, but use this wisely.
She's pretty. What? She got me.
Yeah.
She got
Emily.
me. She stared into her eyes too long, and I was fucking hypnotized.
Yeah,
That
she
eye
looked-
contact thing, like, are people just not looking at each other? Like, what is wrong? People aren't making eye contact?
So you think all those tips are legit? Like they work? Do you stare at somebody that you're on a date with?
Yeah, I'm looking at them. Like, I'm not. What? It would be so weird. Like, are you not looking at the people you're talking to?
That's fair. Bars.
Got a point, yeah. Yeah, 'cause
And,
like,
and you mentioned that all the stuff that she said, she's on point. That'll work with you. It will work with me, I can tell you that.
yeah. I mean, dog. The first thing she said was just the name in the message,
That was
so
a-
fucking legit. Like I get so fucking spooked when like a woman texts me just my name. and
Yeah,
I'm
like Alex.
I'm like, did
and
I
then
do something
nothing.
wrong? Yeah, I was like, did I do something wrong? Like, what's wrong? Normally messages aren't this short.
It takes you back to your childhood when
Yeah.
your mom's like, Alex.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? What did I do?
Because they can follow up with Alex. I have to tell you something, or Alex, I have a question, or Alex. You know, it's almost like building
I don't know, man.
suspense.
Anytime
you know?
anybody says anything after my name, it's like 9 times out of 10 bad. In a situation like when it comes to relationship, it's always bad. Because then they'll always be like, hey, so I could tell that you dig me, and like, it can't happen.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, the meows.
So,
Yeah, like I've had so many people tell me like, hey, we can't be friends because you like me, and like we can't, yada yada, like we can't continue with this. And I'm like, damn. Oh
Yeah.
well.
and then you were like,
Shut up, bitch!
It's crazy.
okay, thank you. June, what do you think about that video? Is that an effective way to get in a man's head?
I don't know. It felt a little manipulative, but I
Mhm.
guess if that's what works, the whole like he's playing a game thing. Like once he wins, then what? Right?
I think he
Like
comes. I think that's
If
the-
you're just the prize, and then he has you, like he's no longer gonna fight for. And
You
I
know
think,
what? Yeah, I
And
see
then you
what
just
you
have
mean.
to keep the games going.
yeah, I don't want to be in a. I don't want to play a game with my person.
Mhm.
But the feeling, like tell him that you feel safe with him. I think that's definitely potent, but you have to feel safe with him first.
Yeah, I think
like
one-
I would, one would hope, right? Like don't just go around telling dudes, "Oh, I feel so safe with you." What if you don't?
Yeah, that low key is kind of scary.
Well, that's you know, she's in a way she's selling the dream right there. You know,
Yeah.
like that's great. I'll have one more and then we'll wrap up. We'll do last thoughts. But let's see this one. It's just a little bit different flavor. I think you're gonna like this one, Emily, specifically.
How long you been on Tinder for?
About a couple weeks, I guess.
It's not bad. You ever been with a dude that drives a manual? Play a song again. Especially because it's my birthday. I just love driving this manual because I just feel so in control of the car. And this thing pulls so hard. People say this thing pulls harder than a Hellcat.
Pulls harder than hell.
So where are you trying to go?
Oh, dude.
Applebee's,
That's
obviously.
Fuck yeah. Dude,
Shout out Applebee's.
Oh my gosh.
That was
Oh.
hard to watch.
That was hard
That
to
was a
watch.
real hard watch right
Oh.
there.
Yeah.
But also, that's like low key. I know a lot of people that are like that. I mean, growing up, definitely was like that. My car was always trashed.
We have
So,
been
like,
on that date,
yeah.
haven't we, Emily?
Yeah. And
like
you know,
humble
that's-
beginnings. But that dude looked like he'd been in the game for a little too long.
Yeah. Like why? What do you think men act like this sometimes, Emily?
They're stupid. I don't know. That's I don't know. Yeah, I think they're just thinking about their dicks, you know.
I mean, like, I can't explain that. Like, that's unexplainable. I really don't like. For me, like acting that kind of way, like you're the bad boy, the warriors, like kind of dude, like with your manual shit. I don't know. Like those dudes are fucking cringy to me. Like those Have you ever been with a guy that drives a manual? Like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, that's
In your
because
03 Honda Accord.
Yeah, I'd be like, it's actually time for me to go right now.
any of you that actually knows women would be like, what kind of women is this shit working on to begin with, if it even works at all, which I have, doubts about, and
Now listen, I
Yeah.
feel like if you roll up on a date in an '08 Honda Accord, it like clean the car up a little bit, man. Like pick up that trash. Like I'm very guilty about leaving trash in my car because I worked in construction and that's my lunch. That's my lunchroom right there.
What if it was a girl? Would you be impressed if she drives a manual?
Oh fuck yeah, shit's lit. That's a car girl right there. But I'm not saying it's a requirement though.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not North Carolina. Like you
But I
guys.
like how I flip it and immediately, yeah, absolutely. Maybe that's what this guy doesn't understand, that he thinks, because I'm with you. I would think it's cool. I would think it's cool just because it's unusual from what you see.
But
Mostly.
remember what I was saying earlier, like reading the room, and like I can easily tell that girl was mad uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Fucking what, birthday sex on blast.
Yeah.
Twice.
This is my
Yeah,
birthday.
I mean, that was obviously a sketch. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
but people do that. Like,
You got that advice. What do they
Yeah.
say? You have to introduce sex early into the conversation. Remember you were talking about the advice?
yeah.
You got that one.
Oh my god, that was Wafik.
dude,
She needs to know at all times that you're down to fuck. Remember?
I don't know. That's just fucking rough. I don't know. When you guys have passengers in your car, whether it be somebody you're dating or just anybody in there, how loud do you play your music in there?
Not loud.
Right? Like I
Yeah.
keep it at a smooth 13, maybe a 10.
I mean, I don't know what your settings are, but like it's low enough that you can have a conversation over.
Exactly.
Like you don't want to
Yeah.
yell.
Yeah, even though solo, I blasted. But yeah, if you're in the car with somebody,
Oh no, when I'm solo, that shit's at like 34.
Yeah. So, the fact that you know the number.
I know, yeah.
34, 32 when I'm by myself.
Yeah, body count doesn't matter.
No,
It's-
but
it's-
volume numbers
volume
do.
does.
Volume numbers do. It's the sonophile of me.
June, what did you think of that video? Have you been on a date like that, maybe, or no?
I feel bad for him because I think what was happening there was she was obviously out of his league. He picked her up thinking like this was going to be something really casual, and then because he looked nervous as hell, like. Men get stupid. Well, men are stupid, but men get more stupid when they're nervous. Yeah, no. So I think he was just like super. I mean, that just was like, if we felt awkward, can you imagine how he felt? Like he was talking to her like, one of his boys, right? It seems like he was just one of those guys that hasn't had a whole lot of experience with women, and maybe he doesn't have sisters or a mom or whatever, and he just thinks like. And maybe she was a car girl. That's a good point. Like maybe he thought like, oh, this is going to impress her because she likes cars. And yeah.
If that's the case, then I think the girl's an asshole for like filming that, kind of like exposing him. Because I was like, what if like you're saying, like, what if he really was like kind of shaken up and nervous? Like, all right, I've turned off my asshole for a second. Like, I think he like, I could see that because he was kind of like doing stuff like sporadically, or like the dancing, like you could tell when somebody's not feeling it, like the way they dance.
Right.
I totally see what you're saying, but
Yeah.
like that's kind of rude.
Like maybe he had the same thought. Like, how do I get out of this?
He's trying to be so
Leave.
terrible that
Yeah,
she leaves.
but
the car.
seriously, like if he's, because he could tell she wasn't into it.
Yeah, he's
People
like,
also just need to get used to saying like, I had a good time. I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Like
it's
this isn't
okay to
working
just be
for
like,
me.
I
Yeah.
had one drink and like that's all I need to like. I've seen what I need to see.
That's
Yeah.
what
I'm
I'm
gonna
telling
leave
you.
now.
This is
Not
why
feeling
the
it.
first date strategy works. Hour out, you have an out.
Yeah, but you can make your out. Like
Right.
I've done that before.
Yeah,
where-
not
that's
if
why I don't
Yeah.
let guys pick me up because it's like I had a drink, I got your vibe, and I wasn't for me, so I'm gonna be leaving now.
Right. She sat there and filmed that whole time. I mean, that was
don't think-
many minutes. Like she
I don't
could
think that was real. I don't think that was a real.
Yeah, it could have been like a
thing.
skit.
I think it was a skit. I think it was
Could've
like
been.
for views.
But, like,
He seemed pretty real.
In the case of it being real, like yeah, that would be pretty fucked up.
yeah, it would. Yeah.
But she's like, how do I get out of this? Well, fucking text your friend to call you.
Jump out of the
Text your
car.
mom
You
to
know?
call you. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather
Be like, I really have to go to the
die.
restroom, and then have him pull over. Like, it's
Yeah.
just as shitty of her to respond that way if it was a real thing as it was for him to to act
You
like
just
that.
like pull up in this gas station,
And
then you call
desert each other.
911, say there's an active shooter, and you give the plate. You know, like,
Just be like,
And
I
not
have the
advice.
shits. I need to go.
great, awesome panel. I'll leave you off with the one question, and then we'll start. Then we'll do last thoughts, and maybe we can roll it up into one. Since we talked about body count in June, is body count an issue to you? Like, is there a number where a guy says, "Oh yeah, I've had sex with 1,000 women," that you'd be like, not for me?
I think the only thing that body count, the only way it matters is if it's a reflection of their emotional maturity, I guess. Like a guy that slept with 1,000 people probably needs to go to therapy, you know? Like
Definitely needs to get tested.
yeah, I mean, I just like if that's your only thing.
No, but assuming he's clean, you know.
I think that would be an indication of something else.
Okay, so what's the number?
Re-
Is 100 too much?
It depends on their age. I mean, you know, some people had phases in life where they just, you know,
the cap.
some people, you know, had phases in their lives where it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, you just did it because you did it, and then you grew out of that, right?
So 100's fine. It's not a deal breaker.
I've never I think I've had that conversation with maybe 2 people in life. I don't ask. I don't. Yeah.
Okay, if you're getting to like a serious thing, you would not be interested in the sexual
No.
history of your partner.
No, I think more so it would concern me if they like were a virgin at my age, or like
Yeah.
you know they've only had like 2 sexual partners. I'd be like, well,
You've had 3, so you're good.
Yeah, you're good. You're in there.
I met the quota.
You know, like that would be a little more concerning for me, just because it's like, well, I don't know.
So it's somewhere between 100 and 1,000 is the number that you'd be like, well,
Probably 100 and fewer, depending on how old they were, and you know, again, like who they were emotionally.
perfect. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts for the podcast? Questions? You asked a question in the pre-show notes. If are women funny? And we'll bundle them to the last thing. But anything else that's on your mind?
I don't think so.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah,
We really
thanks for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
We'd love to have you back on.
Yeah.
If we didn't scare you away. Alex,
Mm-hmm.
is bodies an issue? Like, if a girl has too many bodies, if so, what's the number? And then we'll follow up with a follow-up question.
I don't think I'm bothered by a woman's body count.
100 bodies is fine.
Yeah, 100 bodies.
1,000 bodies.
Yeah, you can
5,000
You
bodies.
take on the whole world. That's fine. That's fine. That's no big deal to me.
As long as you're getting some, you know, like you get a
like,
piece of the
dog,
pie, you know.
You know, it's vibes. Honestly, like that's the thing that I've always like said is that sexual encounter does not matter to me. I don't care about the sex. I don't care about whether or not I'm gonna get head Friday or some shit like that. I mainly care about whether or not we're cool and we're okay, and like if they like me and I like them, then that's how it's gonna ride. You know, I don't really care about just being picky about a relationship either.
Yeah.
So like
You're open to what the universe and then figuring out if you like
if
it.
we click, we click, and if we have problems, then I mean, hopefully we're both built to deal with those problems, and if not, then I mean, unfortunately, we have to move on. So,
Perfect.
I mean, it is what it is. Like, and I want to make this point too, you know, because obviously I'm just one dude versus a million, and I've kind of said a lot of things that most dudes would think that I'm their enemy, I'm their op. I'm not really their op. I'm just a normal dude who just likes being nice to people, and I want people to, you know, receive that same respect all around. And so I just like the world to be a better place. And I say that like I'm a fucking superhero, but I just like being nice, and more people should be nice.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing. And are women funny?
Yeah, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah. Perfect.
They're funny as hell.
It's her
They're funny
question. It's June's question.
Dude, they're funny as hell unintentionally sometimes too.
Oh,
unintentionally.
Yeah, unintentionally. It's so funny.
Yeah, unintentionally, women are hilarious. I'm just fucking around. Emily, I think we've asked you this, but I don't remember the question. Is there a limit? You know,
the only it's like only like within like it's concerning if you're like, how did you physically do that?
Yeah, would you be
How do you have the
impressed?
time?
Yeah, I'd be like, how do you? If they're like, I slept with a different woman every day of the year, I'd be like, how? How are you meeting that many people? Like, I'd be more concerned about that aspect rather than the number.
Is there a number that would be too low where you'd be like turned off by?
Yeah,
it?
0. Yeah. I mean,
Been there, done that.
I don't want you to imprint on me.
Perfect.
I want you to be jaded enough that this won't matter.
Awesome. And you're hilarious, but are women funny?
No.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, panel, once again, thank you all for being here. It was a great time. Great getting to know you a little bit better, June.
Yeah.
We go deep in the questions. This is in a world where, like, you know, everybody has an image and whatnot. I mean, you could be lying here, so I guess it could be. Manly Girly Podcast seems to close that bridge, and if I dig into some of these things, it's also okay. What's your worldview? What is that a line, and are there any consistencies there that maybe can help us bridge the gap, and that applies for anybody that comes on, myself included. So, once again, this has been Manly Girly. Thank you all. Thanks for coming on the pod. See you all later. Bye.
See y'all.